Joining me now to talk more about this effort is James Gallagher, who's the Republican leader of the California State Assembly. Assemblyman, thank you so much for joining me this afternoon.
California and the voters decided that we should have nonpartisan redistricting, and they've done that twice on the ballot, so we think they will do it a third time. But let's also say at the outset that actually Democrats have been better at gerrymandering than Republicans. And I'll use California as an example, also Connecticut and Massachusetts, blue states where Republicans get about 40% of the vote. Yet in Connecticut and Massachusetts, we have zero congressional representation. California, we have 17% currently. But with this partisan map that Gavin Newsom and the Democrats are pushing, we'd go down to 7%. And lots been said about Texas, but even if Texas is successful in what they're doing, they would actually be better in terms of representation of Democrats than Republicans are represented in California and these other blue states.
You had said that our most fundamental American principle is representation. That was your comment yourself. But given that, and you look at what happened in Texas, was it wrong for Texas Republicans to try to gerrymander the districts themselves?
Yes, I think partisan gerrymandering is wrong no matter where it's done. But as I pointed out, Texas is not the first to do that. Look at Connecticut, look at Massachusetts. That's not gerrymandering when 40% of the Republicans get the vote there, but zero of their congressional members are Republican. This has been going on too far. And what my admonishment to my colleagues was that day was that the end of this is we zero out representation. Places don't get represented when you do it based on partisan politics alone. And that is a threat. That is a very real threat to our democracy, and we should be calling for it to end everywhere. I think partisan redistricting is wrong everywhere it's done. But if you're going to just talk about Republican states and not mention the Democratic states, Hawaii, zero Republican representatives, right? All these different states where they've zeroed out the ability to elect a Republican at all. I think that's wrong no matter where you do it. And here in California, over 15 years ago, we made the decision to stop doing that. But Gavin Newsom and the Democrats are saying, hey, let's throw it all out the door. Let's fight fire with fire. And at the end of that path is a lot of people not getting representation that they deserve. We should stop that. And all of us could come together, Republican, Democrat, Independent, and say no more of this stuff. We should have independent redistricting in every state.
All right. James Gallagher, the California Republican Assembly leader. Thank you so much for joining me this afternoon. Really appreciate your time.
Yeah, thank you.